Today is January 11th, 2025. It's 6:37 a.m. and I'm a couple days late on the recap episode. So I'm gonna hit that one right now. I'm gonna do it a little bit different this time because usually I'll go back and find everything that I've done. I'll try to find all the things that I've accomplished and the progress I've made. And I'll have that ready so I can just reference that. Hold on a second here. If you hear that, just trying to adjust my goddamn desk. And usually I have everything ready to go and laid out, but this time I do not. And I'm going to go through it live. So, yeah. So 90 days ago. 90 days ago. Well, everything within the last 90 days. So I'm going to try to keep it concise here and then go back and then detail it out. So I'm trying a different format because usually, like I said, what I've done, I go through before I start recording, figure out everything I've done, and then I put it into, and then I talk about it. So if we go back 90 days, that puts us around, I was supposed to do this 2 days ago, so it puts us at episode 358. So yeah, 90 days ago, I invested $6,000 into the PT Domination Mastermind. Okay, then what did I do? Being present, just learning more. Live calls, I attended live calls. I withdrew all my retirement money. I have averaged double digits in the podcast listens now. I reached over 4,000 podcast streams, and I think it was 3,000, but now I'm at 4,000 now. Let's see, was it this one? Yeah. I launched my fitness program. I launched my whole business, launched all that shit. Got in touch with the CEO of Nito just by sharing his product and talking about it. Neeraj, if you're listening, appreciate you, brother. I set up a Stripe account, set up all the shit of my business here. Wrote a legal agreement. Found old writings of a book that I was writing. Holy shit, I created the blade, the sharpen the blade framework to getting your shit together. I went on my first ever sales call roleplay. I told all my not that I specifically told everybody, but I relinquished the secret that I had a podcast and I was doing all this stuff to my coworkers. And I'll touch on that a little bit. What I'm actually going to do is say all these things and then go back, summarize it so I can have a clear list of things to talk about, and then I'll go into depth. Did my first ever sales call roleplay with a real human being. Did 2. What else are we doing here? Enjoying the grind. Insane day. Really distracted. Wow, this mic. Bought a new wireless mic so I could record scripts and shit. Voted in the 2024 United States election, which made me feel really good. Got probably 2 or 3 more credit cards. I released episode 1 of Allegiant Fit, which is no longer. It's actually all Allegiant Excellence now. So I made a second podcast. What else we got? I got every single part of my life into my Google Calendar. I launched the Allegiant Excellence podcast. It's the 3rd podcast, which is what it is now. What else? Ran a Black Friday deal, ran a scholarship deal, only got one person to reach out to show any kind of interest whatsoever. Made new cover art for the podcast. Started doing role plays with ChatGPT. I did another sales call role play with a guy named Kevin. Did another sales call role play. Launched my entire fitness program. Launched the entire offer. Yeah, the blade, that's in there. Explored lots of different things, options for quitting my job. More live coaching calls. I got a free month in this program, which yesterday my payment would have been taken out, but I got a free month, so that's very cool. Graduated from the onboarding course to the academy in the mastermind that I'm in. Canceled my meal prep subscription service. I broke through some more limiting beliefs, and I just sent a shit ton of DMs to friends and family. And I've sent a DM to however many people now. And no matter who they are, I've sent a message. And that got me over a lot of different fears and shit insecurities. Booked my first ever sales call. Had another sales call role play with Joseph. Had my first ever sales call, made my first ever online sale over the phone. Got hired as a shadow coach so I can make an extra $1,000 a month and also get paid to learn. So I'm responsible for systems and operations there. That's cool. Failed the blade 6 times. I'm on my 7th attempt right now. Started doing self-therapy, so that's cool. Done it twice. It's been very helpful for me. It's led to a lot of introspection, which is really cool. It's now the new year, so you know what that means? Nothing, because it's just a 1 second difference between December 31st to January 1st. All good. I had my first ever guest on this podcast. It's episode 440. It's my beautiful and wonderful and tremendously good-looking girlfriend, Alexis. And then swapped from Submagic to Veed, so I subscribed to that. Read an entire book in a week, but more so I read 120 pages in a day. I completed all 3 challenges. The last challenge of 2024 and the first 2 challenges of 2025 for the Allegiant Excellence Challenge. And then I launched a daily newsletter, which there's 5 people who have subscribed to that at the time of this recording. Let me double check to see if there's anybody else. We got 6 total people. And I'll admit, there's one person on here who I don't know how the fuck or who they are or what, because what's really cool, really quick is it says the email, when they subscribed, and then how they found me. So, for example, I've got 3 people on here that found me from Instagram, and then there's 2 other people who did not. But looking at their emails, you can see their name. But there's one person on here, no idea who you are. And that's cool, because I like to think that I'm reaching more than just my goddamn, my bloodline. And then, it's cool to think that maybe I'm reaching somebody who I don't even know. And maybe that's, I don't know. Same with the podcast. I've got listens from however many different countries, 40 different countries. Not like there's 5,000 people per day. It's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 10 per week from different countries. So that's cool. But what I'm going to do now, and I know that was probably really fucking boring to hear me listen or hear me talk about all that stuff. So what I'm going to do now is pause this, take the transcription, summarize it, and then go over all these things in detail. all right, that was actually a lot faster than I thought. So that little pause, that little break, that was probably 7 seconds. That's crazy. All I did was copy and paste the transcription into Chat GPT, and I said, please list all out. I listed all the accomplishments. Please list them out in bulletin format and do not miss a single one from this transcript. So I'm going to go over these in detail. Can you guys hear that? Oh my hell, that's annoying. Okay, so I invested $6,000 into the PT Dom Mastermind. So yeah, I'm 3 months in. Let's see. 3 months in, I've only paid twice. I was granted a free month. That's very, very nice of them. It was awesome. I've learned a lot in this mastermind. I've also learned that the questions that I have, this is me, I'm just speaking personally here. When I have questions, I've noticed that it's not because I don't know the information. It's because I want to push off the responsibility of action onto somebody else, because when I say, oh, hey, I don't know how to do this, can someone help? I am then off the hook until somebody responds, meaning I'm not responsible and I'm doing all that I can, put my hands up in the air. I did what I could. And I just think it's weak as shit. So I don't know. A lot of questions I have, I'm like, do I really have these questions, or am I just procrastinating? And for me, definitely the latter. I attended live coaching calls. So that's cool. I've never really done that before. I've never been on a Zoom call on a group of people and trying to learn stuff. It's cool stuff. Withdrew all my retirement funds. Yeah, I took everything out of my retirement that I could legally right now. I've got the check on my whiteboard, and I'll use that whenever I need it, I guess. And part of me thinks that if I'm not going to use it now, it may as well just should have stayed in there. Maybe that could have gotten me an extra $400. I don't know, because I'm not contributing to it. It's just, I don't know. Who gives a fuck? I averaged double-digit podcast listeners on the show, so that's pretty cool. So just I'm going to go into the details real quick. So login expired. Please log in again. Okay. So at the time of this recording, we have 4281 listens. In the last 7 days, I'm averaging 81 listens. The last 30 days, I'm averaging 350 listens. So I'm averaging more than 10 listens per show. Double digits. Finally made it. Fucking cool feeling. Now, as soon as I get 4,500 listeners, because this is episode 450, that's going to be an average over the entirety of the whole show of 10 listens per episode. So that's really cool. Reached 4,000. Yeah, so I got 4,000 total podcast streams. And just real quick, we'll go into the statistics. We'll go all time. So we've got United States with 3,400 streams, New Zealand 250 streams, China 120 streams, Russia 116 streams, India 113 streams, France 100 streams, Australia 28, and then all of the next few countries that I'm going to say, they are more than one. Okay, that's bad. They're less than 20. Rwanda, United Kingdom, Singapore, Belgium, Mexico, Kenya, St. Kitts and Nevis, South Africa, Chile, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Canada, Argentina, Switzerland, Guadalupe, Ireland, Italy, Poland, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Israel, Liberia, Macau, Malaysia, Mozambique, Norway, Peru, Philippines, Paraguay, Thailand, Venezuela, and then 4 people from Mars. Unknown location. So that's what I got. That's the split. As far as people listening to the show, Spotify is in the lead with 2,300. Then Google Chrome, I think that means just playing something, a podcast in any music platform, but on Google Chrome, so not the actual app. Then we have iHeartRadio at 400, Safari 200, Apple Podcast 200. That's so crazy. The entirety of the show, I've only gotten 200 listens from Apple. Then we have Deezer, 123, Firefox 50, Podbean app 8, Castbox 2, Podcast Addict 1, Xbox 3, Audible 2. My most listened to episode is episode 1, 41 people, 41 downloads. Then it's episode 342 and 351, both with 31 listens. And then episode 157, 22 downloads. And then it goes 287, 100, 634. Only reason why those are the most listened to is because they're early on and people start and then they stop. All good. I don't know. I think the most amount of unique people who have listened to a show in one day is 28, I believe. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's a little bit of the stats of the show. All right. Launched my fitness program and business. Yeah. So the reason why I even joined the mastermind, a big reason was I was doing some reflection, another 90-day episode. And I realized that I still hadn't launched the program. And I thought, what am I doing? So I joined and I launched my program. So now it's a fully operational thing. I mean, I still have so much to learn and so much to improve on, but it's live. It's operational. I connected with the CEO of Nito by sharing the product. So we were just talking back and forth. Ended up talking about it on a podcast, which is 342 and 351, I believe. 342 and 351, just talking about Nito. And that's cool because I love their products. They're free. Their pricing philosophy is awesome. Neeraj, the CEO, awesome guy. And I'm looking forward to the products that come out. So that's awesome. So I was able to have a Zoom call with him. And I think that, I don't know what episode that is. So I'll have to figure that out. But that's that. Set up a Stripe account for business operation. Yeah, so I finally got a payment processor. That's pretty cool. I'm hearing more and more things about Stripe that are not good, actually. So I'm kind of getting the heebie-jeebies from them. So I might jump ship and go somewhere else. But I'm not even making money from Stripe right now, so it's not a huge concern. Created a legal document for business. That's really an achievement that took me 45 minutes to do, so whatever. Found and revisited old book writings. Yeah, so I came across a book that I was writing. There's about 60 pages or something like that. I don't know how much it would be for book pages, but that's cool. So it's not really an accomplishment. I just came across it again. Where else are we at? I created the Blade. That's pretty cool. I created the Blade system, 4-part system for getting your shit together. And since creating it, I've yet to complete it. I just had a client complete it, his first round. And that's pretty fucking cool to be able to kind of post about someone doing a framework or a program that I created and then for him to, just a cool feeling. So really excited about that. Now I'm still on the first cycle because the tasks that I chose just so happen to be the fucking hardest things possible that I personally could have chosen. And as a quick recap, in case you don't know, my purge was to no longer be late. So no matter where I go, I cannot be late. If I go to work, I got to get there before 5. If I need to be somewhere at a certain time, then I can't be late. But for things like going to the gym, I'm not saying I have to be there by 2:37. I'm not saying that. I'm just go to the gym. But if we're going on a date and we have dinner reservations or something like that, we're getting there on time. And there's that. The oath for me is a sales call roleplay, so I can better myself with sales. And I've done one damn near every single day for the last, I don't want to say 2 months, but very close. So I've definitely gotten a lot more experience with that. That's cool. I really do not like doing it, especially with ChatGPT, but it is what it is. And then my crucible is to get out of bed every single day at 5 a.m. And if I work on those days, then I have to get out of bed at 3:50. And there's no compromise or exception to this whatsoever for any reason. I don't care if my bed is on fire. I don't care if my house, it doesn't matter. If I'm not out of bed, that was a bad example. I don't give a fuck. If I'm not out of bed by those times, if I'm still laying in bed and it's 3:51 or if it's 5:01, I fail. And that's happened twice. So that's great. So there's that. And then what else was there? That was it. Oh, then the rigor, which is just doing small things. So cool. I revealed all my shit to coworkers because I kept it a secret for so long. When somebody would ask or talk about it, I would say, "Oh, let's talk about that later, dude. I don't want so-and-so knowing." And it wasn't about keeping it a secret from people knowing, but it was about not letting anybody else know so that I didn't have to answer questions or people wouldn't inquire. And the interesting thing about all of this, and this is a cool experiment that I did, I'm glad I did this, is nobody gives a fuck. Nobody, I don't know what I expected, but nobody's coming up to me saying, "Oh, dude, you got a podcast? That's sick, bro. What are you talking about? I'll have to give it a listen." "Oh, dude, you're a fitness trainer? Cool, man. How's that going for you? You doing what?" Nobody, not one single person, and this is in the context of work, has come up to me. Not that I want it. I'm just making observations. For fuck's sake, someone out there, I know. But I just didn't want any kind of recognition or somebody to be asking or whatever. And it turns out people ask everybody else except me what I'm doing, which is very interesting. I've talked about that numerous times on the show. And it's definitely by people who I would absolutely expect to do that. Now, that being said, there are other coworkers that have known the entire time, and they're G's. I love them to death. So you know who you are if you're listening. So cool little experiment that I ran. Nobody gives a fuck. I was keeping it a secret because I was so insecure of what people might say or think or do or whatever. If they found out that I was doing all this stuff, and turns out no one gives a singular fuck. More proof that no one cares what you're doing. More proof that you could be 450 episodes deep and people still don't give a shit. And that's okay, because I'm going to be 4,500. I'm 10% of the way there now. And still. So anyway, that's that. Publicly, yeah. So bought a wireless mic for recording scripts. Cool, yeah. So that's not necessarily an accomplishment, just a purchase. But I got a mic. It improves the sound quality of the reels that I do. I think that improves the reel quality overall. And it's cool because I look forward to it. It makes me feel better about the stuff I'm creating. So that's cool. Voted in the 2024 United States election. So that's a proud moment for me. Never done that in my entire life. I'm 27 years old. So I've had 3 opportunities in my life to do this, and I've only done it once. So it makes me feel like a piece of shit in that regard. Yeah, I've had 3 opportunities because that would be 23 and then 19. Yeah, so I've had 3 opportunities, but I've only used it once. So there's that. It made me feel really good, like I was doing my duty as an American. I got 2 to 3 more credit cards, not an accomplishment. I just have different perspectives on that shit, man. For me to have a credit score that's high or whatever for something that I don't know. I guess I would need it to get into another place, I guess. But I don't plan on buying a car. I mean, if I did, I'm not buying a brand new one. I'm not trying to qualify for some crazy thing. I'm not trying to buy a house right now. I'm not trying to finance anything. I'm not trying to get any kind of I don't know. I'm not trying to do anything. By the time that I will probably look into those things, I'll probably, dare I say, because I'm so goddamn ambitious, by the time those things happen, I probably will be making enough money to where if I'm going to buy a specific car or if I'm going to buy a house, I'm willing to bet that the income will outweigh what I would need for a credit score, because a credit score, if it's so low, then they require a certain down payment. They require a certain clause signed or whatever. And what if I just pay, what if I'm buying a car, and I'm going to exaggerate the fuck out of this. What if I'm buying a $100,000 car and they see my credit score is 652 and they say, oh, we're going to need a down payment of 20 grand, bro. We can't trust you. I would say, oh, all good. Here's 50. Eat a dick. That's kind of the idea. And that's really into the future, because I just buying a home, buying a new car, financing this, buying a boat, anything. I don't need any of that shit right now. I couldn't give a fuck. So I'd rather have the money and not need it than to need the money and not have it. Better to have and not need than to need and not have. It's something I live by. So what else we got here? Released episode 1 of the Allegiant Fit podcast. Cool. So I dropped first ever episode of the fitness podcast, which is no longer, because I decided to combine it with Allegiant Excellence. And then I transitioned from fit to excellence, combined the two, and now have 8 episodes. So that's pretty cool. So I had 3 podcasts for just a moment in time. Now I only have 2. Thank goodness. Scheduled every aspect of my life. Yeah, I put my whole life into Google Calendar. Not necessarily an accomplishment, more organization. And it's cool to see everything I got going on. And I was thinking about that the other day, because if I were to just do everything that's on my calendar, if that's all I did, I'd be very well off right now. Not financially, just career-wise. I'd see a lot more progress, a lot more momentum. I'd see a lot more, success. So if I just do that, I'll be good. I'm looking at my calendar now, and it's definitely intimidating. I got a lot of shit on here, but if I just did that, then I'd be good. So anyway, what else we got here? So I ran a Black Friday deal. So I launched my first ever big campaign, or whatever, if you want to call it that. First ad, first whatever. And even though I only got one person to do anything with it whatsoever, I would still consider it my very first, because I'm learning so much. and for me to run 50% off all coaching services, and also to give away the entire program for free for 16 weeks for somebody, and to have nobody bite, that means my audience is cold. It means I have not deposited enough value into my audience. It means I'm not doing a good enough job to be asking for any kind of people to join the program, and it's all good. So I just got to get better. And I've got some pretty cool plans for that. That's kind of part of the newsletter. I just want to use that as a delivery vehicle to give so much free shit away in exchange for the email. Now, I don't know if that's even the best way to do it, but I'm going to give it a shot. For example, I think it'd be cool to give away a weekly workout routine, something that I follow myself. I'll give it out, put it out on Saturday nights, something like that. So that way you get it. I'll put it out Sunday morning. So you get it. You have the workout routine. You can follow along with me or not. And then maybe Monday is a freebie. It's a list of everything you can use, just a whole bunch of free shit, just PDFs, guides, videos, you name it, free shit, always. And it's funny because when I wanted to start another podcast, what I would call Your New Norm, which I really like that name. That might be a born in the future. But I wanted, part of the thing that I was doing with phase 3 of Live Hard last year was I would write down, I think it was 3 content ideas and the freebies that I could give away with those. I'll have to find that document. But that was the idea. The idea was I make a podcast episode and then I give a giant freebie away with that. So maybe it's a workout routine, maybe it's an entire meal plan, maybe it's an entire step-by-step guide on how to do XYZ. But the idea was there. So it's just a bunch of free shit. And I think that's something that I should focus on, building so much value and depositing so much value. If you listen to yesterday's episode, you'll hear Mina, I'm going to call him my mentor. He talks about how if you go to a bank and all you do is withdraw, you're going to be poor as fuck. But if you go to the bank and you just deposit and you deposit and you deposit and you deposit and you keep depositing, and then you make one big withdrawal, you're going to have a fat check. You're going to have a big thing that you can go purchase. You can buy a big boat. You're just going to have this one big lump sum. But if you just withdraw, there's no value to be withdrawn. So you're just trying to pour it. You're trying to have other people pour from an empty cup. You're trying to have the homeless donate money to your cause. So the idea is to provide so much value that it's just obvious that I'm the right option to go with. So that's that. Created new podcast cover art. So no more bed in bright red letters. It is now Bryson every day. I also created the Allegiant Excellence cover art, which is half of my face and then Allegiant Excellence. That'll probably change. I'm just not set on it. I like it, just not set on it. I mean, even the Bryson Everyday project, it's cool, just not set on it. So, but I just don't think that's important whatsoever. I mean, when you think about it like this, I'm 5% of the way through. Is that what it is? 5%? No, more than that. 7.5% through this entire 20-year journey. For me to, even if I took the next, let me think about this. Even if I took the next 3.5 years and I changed the podcast cover art, a shit ton more, changed the name, but then for the last 15 years, it all stayed the same. That's 75% of the entirety of this whole show that remains the same. Now, 75% is a big chunk. So people will, in 20 years, recognize it for what it is, not for, oh, that used to be the BQBOV. Oh, no, that was BQ Daily. Oh, no, that was Bed Project. Oh, no, that was BCast. I just don't think it's important. I think you just got to start and go forward. So, roleplay, dude, there's so much on this list. God damn. It's annoying. And I don't say that wow, that's not a dick. I've accomplished so much. It's so annoying. It's not what I mean. Just so many points I got to cover. Role-played sales calls using Chat GPT. Yeah, so I started using Gabriel Pete Thomas, and it's been cool. It's been frustrating to summarize it. And it's not the best use of a role play, but it is a role play nonetheless, so I am learning. So I do that every night. It's part of my blade. Participated in a sales call role play with a person named Kevin. I also did it with Travis. Also did it with Joseph. So those 3 people, first ever sales call role plays. Just for documentation purposes, we have Travis Labe, I don't know. Then we have Kevin T. Can't remember his last name. I'm sorry, dude. Kevin Can't remember. And then we have Joseph Fuentes, I think. They've been great helps, especially Joseph. Shout out to Joseph. That was awesome. And yeah, so that was one of my biggest fears was role playing. My biggest fears were role playing, booking call, sales call, going live on social media. And what else? And being in the same exact place I am now in 90 days, which I don't feel that way at all, actually, which is a really cool feeling. Explored more options for, Yeah, so I fully launched the fitness program. Yeah, I already said that, including the blade. Explored options for quitting my 9-to-5 job. So I've gone over that so many times. What's required? What do I have to do? Can I go to FedEx 3 days a week, get more time back? What do I got to do? Blah, blah, blah. So that's that. Participated in more live coaching calls. So yeah, I'm getting in the spotlight. I'm asking questions. I get put on the big screen. I'm in a room full of 150 people who are killing it. My face is right there. So that's a fear that I had to overcome. I received a free month in the coaching program. That's cool. I feel like I got that because I was seen as someone to be working hard and showing up. So that's a great feeling. I was just acknowledged for the hard work, and that felt great. Graduated from the onboarding course in the academy to the mastermind. So I went from the beginner course where they kind of just show you the basics. They want you to get to $2,000 a month before they upgrade you to the academy, but it did not happen for me. I'm still at a grand total. At the time of this recording, I've only made $100 from coaching, but I've got $250 coming out from another client in 10 days, and then 2 more times thereafter for a total of $850. Now, with the shadow coaching opportunity, which I'll touch on that in a sec. So I canceled my meal prep subscription service. Again, not an accomplishment, more like something that's came and gone. Now I subscribe to Flex Pro meals back when I was working FedEx because it came time to prepare meals and prep food and stuff like that. And I just didn't want to spend the 3 to 4 hours every Sunday to do this because Sundays, I would have to go to work, and I would work. I don't know what did I work? I would work 6 hours, but it was an hour drive there, so it was 8 hours out of my day. I'd go to work and I'd come home, and I would have to still go to bed around 8 o'clock. So having to spend the rest of my Sunday to prepare food, I fucking hated it so bad that while cooking, midway through meal prep, I stopped, made an order for Flex Pro meals, and I bit the bullet, and now here we are. So very convenient, very cool, but it just got so annoying. Customer service was subpar. My meals were damaged. Some things I just didn't get ordered in enough time, and they didn't work with me. I mean, even trying to cancel was a fucking shit show. But I canceled that, so now I'm back to meal prep, and I actually still have a lot of their meals because I forgot to cancel one day before they sent me another package. So now I just have probably 30 meals in my freezer. So slowly going off that. And then, yeah, not really an accomplishment, but it is what it is. Overcame limiting beliefs. So that's going back to what I was talking about with the sales call and the role plays, the booking a call, making money online, posting online, getting hateful comments and shit. Matter of fact, I got some more this morning, and that's just because I'm commenting on other people's stuff, trying to, I guess, spark conversation, trying to just get my name in more comment sections, because the more times that people can see my profile, the more opportunities they have to click on it and see what I'm about, see if they fuck with me, see if they don't. And people, I'm not going to say the shit doesn't bother me, because it does. It does get under my skin, but not as much as it used to. And I wonder if the guy replied. Let's check now. Yeah, here we go. So it's on an Andy Elliott post. This guy keeps, you as well, let's go comma for a comma at the end of the year. This guy's just being really, So in the video, Andy Elliott's just talking about how I bring in 70 people, dealership brings in 70 people. Holy shit, we have 210, and bad math, right? So that's not correct math. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that he meant to calculate it correctly or not. I don't think he gave a fuck. I think his point, the guy in the video, is to suggest that the dealership brings in 70 people, I bring in 70 people, and just like that, with the missing context, with the referrals, with the good, whatever, we have 210, which is 70, 70, 70. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. And I thought, isn't that hyperbole? Because that shit's supposed to be exaggerated. It's not meant to be taken in any literal sense. It's like, oh, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. It's like, no, you couldn't. That's hyperbole. So I guess I was wrong. Not a big deal. I'm not worried about that. And anyway, just going back and forth, two guys kind of ganged up on me. And at first I thought, what the hell? I mean, so I just, the level of the responses that I'm getting makes me truly understand maybe where these people are at. Because for example, what did I say? Oh, out of the middle of nowhere, we're not even talking, we're talking about Andy Elliott, car salesman. This guy says to the other guy, bro went and got a blue check mark with 153 followers with the eyes emoji and the laugh emoji. And I said, check mark with a bag of cash. And then he says, because earlier he was just being a dick, and I was like, dude, I appreciate your attention. What did I say? Yeah, man. So he corrected me. He says, a hyperbole isn't that, it's this. And I said, yeah, man, those are great examples. I appreciate you giving me your attention. And he says, he says, attention and correction can seem the same, I suppose. Again, incorrect math isn't hyperbole. Isn't a hyperbole. And then I said, thanks for cleaning that up for me. He says, no doubt at all. Glad you had that. This was 3 days ago. Oh, hold on. What he said was three days ago, apparently. I don't know. And then I said, thanks for cleaning it up. Cleaning that up for me. Holy shit. And then, where am I at, dude? What the fuck? So I said that 3 days ago. He said, okay, guys, I am so sorry. He said a message. Okay. I said a message. 3 days later, he replied to it. This morning, I said, thanks for cleaning that up for me, because he just was clarifying or whatever. And he said, no doubt at all. Glad that you had the free time to respond in 7 minutes after my comment, even though I was too busy for 3 days. Totally shows initiative. I said, I appreciate you. Hope your business crushes in 2025. He says, you as well. Let's go comma for a comma at the end of the year. I'm not even going to remember this guy exists in a year, but I did take a screenshot of the previous ones where he said, bro went and got a blue check mark at 153 followers. Now I'm spending so much time on this because it does get under my skin, not because they're being hateful or whatever, but it's because they're saying irrelevant shit. I mean, I'm talking about, dude, that's one thing about internet culture and people in general that it's so frustrating. You can be arguing about golf or whatever, and then the other person says, oh, well, fucking goddamn, he's got a blue check mark on his profile. Who does you think he is? And it's like, what are we talking about now? Are we still talking about the first video? Because we can. Are we still talking about my check mark now? You want to segue over to here? It's just anything that they can to get a one up on you, And I'm glad that I'm just getting older and wiser and shit and realizing things for what they are. Because when somebody does that shit, it's just a reflection of them. And I always used to think that when people would even talk about stuff like this, I thought it was corny, because I'm like, dude, that was just a reflection of me. But I don't know. People got their own shit going on. People are just not happy, and it's all good. And sometimes it's hard for me to understand that people are just dumb, and it is what it is. It's like if he said, hey man, your water bottle is ugly. And I would say, oh, sorry, bro. You can get a blue one. And he would say, oh man, dude, you probably spend $400 a month on meal prep service. Oh, look at this fucking clown. What the fuck does that have to do with my ugly looking bottle, dude? Like, what are we talking about here? And it's just annoying that people do that and they think they get you. Because if you were to give them a thoughtful response, for one, it would go over their head. They probably wouldn't read it. It'd be too much for them to comprehend. And I'm not even trying to be an asshole. But if I said, oh, dude, my bad. I thought we were talking about the hyperbole here. My bad. Maybe I just misunderstood the definition. So I appreciate you taking the time to clear that up for me. With all those examples, I appreciate that. So did you want to continue talking about that and try to help me out? Or do you want to insult me and talk about the blue check mark on my profile that doesn't matter to anyone? It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me. I mean, kind of. So which one would you like to talk about? I'm good to go either way. I mean, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page and we're being professional. If I were to say something like that, what the fuck, dude? Anyway, let's move the fuck on. This is annoying. So I sent numerous DMs to friends, family, strangers to build connections. So I sent a shit ton of DMs, started doing that. And that's probably my weakest link right now, is just not communicating, talking to friends, followers, all that stuff. But I committed to doing every single person on my Facebook friends list. And no matter who they are, no matter what, there's no exception. Every single person on my Facebook friends list is getting a message from me. I don't give a fuck. And that's doing two things. One, that's getting my shit out there, even if a little bit. And it's also getting me to overcome these fears of what if they think that blah, blah, blah. What if they think I'm just trying to sell them? Who gives a fuck, bro? I mean, I'm growing. I'm getting better. So that's that. Booked and conducted first ever sales call. Yeah, so I had my first ever sales call. That was something that took me quite literally, I'm going to say 5 years, because I did this in June of 2020. Nah, we'll just say 4 years. We'll keep 4.5 years. It took me 4.5 years to overcome the fear of talking to somebody on the phone. It took me 4.5 years to overcome this fear. There's people in the group that were still in the group back then that are in the group now who are killing it. And the thought of, if I would have stayed with it then, where would I be now? That's a tough thought sometimes. But yeah, I conquered that fear, hopped on the phone call, handled the sales call. And yeah, it went great. I got the deposit, and now that is being used as the first month. So now the second payment comes out here in, I don't know, a week, 9 days. So that's kind of cool. More so the fact that I overcame that. Never mind the money. Who gives a fuck about the money right now? The fact that I overcame that fear and that I pushed through and got it done. That's one of those things now that I can die happy knowing that I didn't pussy out and give up on that thing. However, now that I know I can do it, I want to have more chances, more opportunities to make it happen. So that's that. All right. Made first online sale over the phone. So in the past, I had done this online over the DMs. People signed up, and it is what it is. Now, having done it over the phone, it makes me realize what's possible. So if you heard yesterday's phone call with my mentor, Mina, he's talking about, it's a slow week. It's a slow month. We're only signing up 3 new clients per month. 3 new clients per week. And he's doing $400 a month. So he's making $1,200 a week recurring. So if you do that for 4 months right there, that's close to 20 grand. Making 20 grand a month is slow. That's crazy, dude. That's the kind of people that I'm associating with now. And that's just nuts to me. So that's that. So hired a shadow coach. Yeah. So now I'm earning $1,000 extra per month while improving his systems, indirectly improving mine, because whatever I make for him is something that I'm going to need. So it's a really, I think I got the upper hand here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective, but I'm getting paid to help him with systems and operations on the back end of his program that I can also use and implement into mine. I have full access to his program, which he consistently tells me to take and use whatever I want to implement the ideas and the strategies to my own business. And I get to pick his brain. I get to ask him all these different kinds of questions. I get to do all this stuff. Now that's so cool. That is so cool. That is so cool. You know? So that's that. Very cool opportunity. And if I wouldn't have joined the mastermind, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. And if I wouldn't have reflected and made the decision to join the mastermind, I wouldn't have this opportunity. So that's cool. So yeah, I became responsible for systems and operations in this shadow coaching opportunity. So that's really cool. Failed the Blade system 6 times, currently on my 7th attempt. Yeah, I keep on failing, dude. It's so fucking frustrating. And what's really cool is I know that the integrity factor there is on point, because there's so many times where I'm like, dude, nah, this is my fucking 7th time. It's fine. It's fine. But then the echo in the back of my head is, no, you'll know that on day 1, you already screwed up. You already gave in. And I just can't do that, so I restarted. So there's that. Started self-therapy, which led to more introspection. Said that word a lot recently, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. I've been looking inward to figure out some answers, and I don't know. When I do the self-therapy shit, all I do is open up a Word doc and I just talk to myself essentially. And every time, well, twice, because I've done it twice, I just get answers that I know to be true. Sounds so narcissistic, but rather than being like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I should focus on. I don't know what my problem is. I know exactly what my problem is. I know exactly what I need to focus on. And so I just need to do that. I don't need to go and ask other people what they think I'm struggling with based on the limited answers and context that I provide to them. The more I think about that, the more I'm like, yeah, of course. Why? That makes perfect sense. Everybody knows what they need to do. Nobody's willing to do it. Had my first ever podcast guest, which is my girlfriend, Alexis. So episode 440. Somebody asked a question in the feedback form below in the description. And if you want to submit a question, feedback, whatever, suggestion, you can click on that and do so. Somebody asked about how Lexi and I met and then how we balance our relationship with what we have going on. So we talked about that. It was pretty cool. It's also really cool for us to do together because I felt like at first when we started, we were both a little uncomfortable. That's what I think. And then we kept going and going and going. And before long, we were just talking. And I love that. I love that I can do that with her. I love that I could share that moment with her and we could do those things together. It just felt incredible for me. It was really special for me. It was a big deal for me. So in the future, I think I'd like to do more of those. What do you think, babe? Okay. So I switched from Submagic to Veed. Now, a lot of people don't even know what the fuck that is. It's just editing software. That's it. Not really an accomplishment. Just made a big change in the way that I produce video. So that's cool. Read 120 pages of a book in one day. That's an accomplishment for sure because I used to struggle with just 10. But being forced to do 120, it's just, why the fuck did I struggle with 10? 10? 10 ain't shit. And now I have the perspective to say that. I read 120 in one day. The 120 pages, let me see something real quick. I have this book over here. I'm going to see how many pages it is. It's a really small one. This book here took me a while to read. It doesn't even have page numbers. It doesn't even have page numbers. I guess never mind. I have a couple books over here. I'm just trying to find one that might be very limited pages. Let's try this one. This one's pretty short. This one's 144 pages. Actually, yeah, 136 pages. So it's like I read this book in one day. That's like what it is. So to say that I read an entire book in one day, that is insanity for me. Other people talk about reading books like I don't understand. People talk about that shit. Oh, it's a 200-page book. It's a quick afternoon read. What do you mean? Anyway, completed all 3 Allegiant Excellence challenges for 2024 and then for the first 2 of 2025. Now, I have yet to announce the newest one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might start doing a mental one and a physical one because that's kind of the point of the show. But, yeah, I completed those. Just completed the one for walking backwards on the treadmill, on an incline treadmill, and coincidentally, my knees feel so much better, and it's great. I just stood up to put my book away, and my knees were not screaming at me, so that's great. And yeah, it feels good. It feels good to have good knees. So that's that. Launched the Daily Excellence newsletter. So this is very recent, and I said earlier I would talk about it. So I don't know when I'm going to actually start putting them out daily because, and this is going to sound maybe bad, maybe this is wrong mentality, but I've got 5 people that are subscribed to the newsletter. And of those people, I don't know. I'm just going to speak truthfully here. I want to make so much good shit and all these freebies and shit. I don't want to repeat them, and I'm sure I'm going to have to. But for example, I want to make a bunch of freebies. For example, maybe a full-blown workout. But I'm looking at the list here, and I'm just thinking objectively, and I'm like, I don't think anybody on this list is going to utilize a chest workout template or something like that. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Matter of fact, the more I think about it, maybe some people would. But I'm looking at this list, and I just want to make sure that I'm not duplicating the shit, meaning, hey, guys, here's my chest workout, blah, blah, blah. And then in 2 months, hey, guys, here's the same chest workout. I just don't want to repeat. But maybe that, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know. So I'm going to move on. But yeah, we got the Daily Excellence newsletter. I'm going to wait to get some more people in here, advertise a little bit more, trying to think of ways to do it because I genuinely enjoy writing. The shit's fun for me. And if I can just make them quick and short, pair it with a freebie a couple times a week, send it out, encourage people to subscribe. I don't know. It's just one more avenue, one more thing that I can work on and plant some seeds in for now. Plant some seeds now so that I can get a big fruit bearing tree in the future. So I gained 6 newsletter subscribers, including one unknown person. Yeah. By the way, everything I'm reading here is a summary. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that I know everybody's email on here except for one. And yeah, I've got 6. So first ever subscriber is me. First ever person that was not me was Jesse from Breedlines. Second would be Lexi. Third would be my aunt, Shawnee. And then we've got 2 more people. Pretty sure I know one of them, Clancy. And then we have another one that I just don't know. And it's cool because it tells me the acquisition source. And the 4 people that I know of came from Instagram. The last one did not come from Instagram, and I also don't know who they are, which is really weird. Makes me wonder, I don't know. So anyway, and then reached podcast listeners in over 40 countries. I'm pretty sure it's 40. I didn't count. Let's count. Let's count today. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. God damn it, I have 39. If you want to count Mars as a country, then it is 40, but I got 39. 39 countries. Hell yeah, dude. We are 20% of the way there from being listened to in every single country. That's pretty cool. That wasn't there 250 countries? Hey Siri, how many countries are there?
The United Nations includes 193 member countries and 2
Okay, so 20%. Because if I got, it'd be 20%. Because if I got 40 now, times it by 5 is 200, 20%. 20% of all, a little bit more than 20%, all good. 20% of the world, 20% of all countries have heard my voice. Interesting. That's a pretty cool thought. Okay, that's all I got. That's all I got today. That was a recap episode. I didn't realize how long this was. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Peace.